The film begins in the forests of Africa. By the river, Gabby and Winston appear. They are rangers on a mission, and once it is completed, they plan to leave. Gabby observes the jungle using her drone camera, but suddenly the drone collides with something and falls. Gabby insists on retrieving it, saying it must have fallen only 2 kilometers away. Winston warns her that no one has ever returned alive from this jungle, yet Gabby decides to go. He tells her he will finish his work. Meet her at the same spot exactly 1 hour later. The scene shifts to soldiers setting up cameras in the jungle, while 2 men cover the lenses with something. Gabby reaches the spot where her drone has fallen, but only a piece is found. The drone itself is missing, and it is later shown tied to the back of a girl. Meanwhile, Winston checks the cameras placed by the military and notices they have never recorded anything because their lenses are covered. He realizes that whoever did this must have a dangerous intention. When Gabby returns, Winston is missing. Before she can react, strange sounds echo from the jungle, and she starts following them without thinking about the danger. Soon, she trips over a rope trap and gets badly injured. She feels immense pain and tries to call Winston through the radio, but no one responds. At that moment, she senses someone rushing past her. Gathering courage, she removes the wooden piece stuck in her foot and tries to chase the figure. But due to the injury, she cannot keep up. She notices a red light glowing in the jungle. Drawn toward it, she inhales strange spores and begins to feel hypnotized. At the same time, Winston also hears the same eerie sound that scared Gabby earlier. Terrified, he steps forward blindly and falls into a swamp. He sees someone hiding behind a tree, thinking it is Gabby, but the figure does not seem human. Elsewhere, Gabby finds a cabin in the jungle. Inside, nobody is present. After checking, she collapses in pain and ties her sock around the wound before falling asleep. Meanwhile, Winston is haunted by the sounds, feeling as if someone circles around him. Fear overwhelms him. Gabby too wakes up disturbed, noticing she has vomited mushrooms. Shocked, she realizes it was a dream. Just then, 2 men arrive. They do not panic at her presence, but point out that she ruined their trap. They treat her wound and offer food. The men ask if she comes from the city. Gabby replies that she is from the ranger station, conducting routine checks with only one partner. One of the men, Baron, questions how many rangers are there. Gabby says 2. The scene then shifts to Winston, who hides from creatures pursuing him. He feels someone approaching and turns to see a humanoid creature with mushrooms growing from its head, moving upside down. Terrified, he runs. At night, the jungle fills with terrifying cries of the creatures. Confused, Gabby asks the 2 men about the sounds. They claim they are animal noises, then begin strange prayers. Afterward, they again offer her food, but she refuses to eat insects. Meanwhile, Winston encounters another humanoid creature whose mouth splits open, revealing mushrooms inside. Horrified, he flees as the creature lets out a piercing scream, releasing spores. He hides behind a large tree, unaware that the roots and vines slowly move to attack. Back in the cabin, Stephen, tending to Gabby's wound, continues his treatment. He prepares medicine for Gabby. Suddenly, strange herbs and plants start growing on Gabby's body. Seeing this, she becomes terrified, but then realizes it is only a dream. At this moment, she is still alone in the cabin. As soon as she wakes up, Gabby tries to contact her partner through the radio. A connection forms, but Winston only keeps repeating his own name. He gives no answers to her questions and speaks nonsense that Gabby cannot understand. To keep herself warm, she lights a small fire in the cabin. Meanwhile, Baron and his son Stephen go hunting. After killing prey, the father smears its blood on his son's body, and together they pray to Mother Nature, asking forgiveness for taking a life. Immediately after this scene, the dead body of Winston is shown. His entire body is covered with the same dried herbs and mushrooms that Gabby saw growing on herself in her nightmare. That night, Gabby has another terrifying dream. She sees the roots of plants spreading into her mouth. Before anything worse happens, Baron wakes her up. He tells her that creatures are outside the cabin and warns her to stay silent because these creatures cannot see but are attracted to sound. Gabby nods in agreement. Soon, the creatures break down the door. Baron and Stephen begin fighting them. One creature is brought down instantly with an arrow, but another one attacks Stephen. His father intervenes, saving him and driving the entity away. Then another creature enters. It scans the room while Gabby and Stephen stand completely still. Stephen, used to such situations, does not move at all, and the creatures fail to sense him. Gabby, however, panics and moves slightly, drawing the creature's attention. Just before it attacks her, Stephen stabs it in the stomach and then strikes its heart, killing it. Together, they push the rest of the creatures out with a large stick and shut the door. Stephen notices the creature's blood on Gabby's body. He quickly removes her clothes and cleans her to protect her from infection. Gabby collapses, unconscious. Baron also discovers that he has been injured during the fight. When Gabby regains consciousness, Baron explains the truth about the creatures. He tells her they are humanoid fungi that attack humans and survive through human bodies. He further explains that these creatures are thousands of years older than humans and outnumber every organism on Earth. Once they lived in hiding, but now they have emerged, ready to turn all humans into their own kind. Gabby refuses to believe him. Baron calls humans foolish and says she is just like the rest. Later that night, everyone goes to sleep. Gabby again dreams of standing deep in the jungle before a massive tree. Suddenly, something touches her from behind, and fungus attacks her neck. She wakes up in fear, only to see Stephen sitting beside her, which calms her. They begin talking, and Gabby even shows him her phone. Together, they take pictures. Stephen seems amazed by the device, but suddenly his father storms in, snatches the phone, and throws it away. He tells Stephen that Gabby is a monster, a danger to him, and orders him to stay away from her. They leave the cabin. Gabby gathers the broken pieces of her phone. While doing so, she finds a book hidden under the bed, one that Baron has been writing. Meanwhile, the jungle shows the same giant tree from Gabby's dream. Baron stands before it and offers a few drops of his blood to the tree. He watches closely as the tree begins to inside the tree. Tiny mushrooms grow. From within, a strange light glows, and spores float in the air, as if an entirely different world exists inside. The man reaches in, plucks 2 mushrooms, eats one himself, and feeds the other to his son. When they return, they see Gabby reading the book he had been writing. At the same time, they notice the infection spreading all over her body. Mushrooms now sprout from her skin, just like in her nightmares. Terrified, Gabby tries to scrape them off with her hands. Knowing she is infected, they immediately tell her to leave. Stephen dislikes his father's decision but stays silent. Before leaving, he shows concern for Gabby, licks her hand as if to absorb the infection, and then hugs her tightly. Just then, Baron enters and says it is time to go. They escort her toward the jungle's edge. As they move through the forest, Gabby hears strange sounds and follows them. Passing a tree, she removes a memory card from one of the military cameras. A little farther ahead, she discovers Winston's body, now covered in mushrooms. When she approaches to touch him, she realizes he is still alive. With tears, he begs her to kill him, saying he cannot endure this state. Gabby refuses and insists on rescuing him, taking him to a hospital for recovery. During their conversation, Baron tries to kill him from behind, knowing the infection cannot be cured. Gabby stops him and demands to know if there is any other way. Baron silently hands Winston an arrow. Winston drives it into his own mouth, ending his life. Seeing her partner die before her eyes, Gabby breaks down completely. Her cries attract numerous creatures. Baron, panicked, tells her to run back to the cabin. They rush inside, where Stephen wakes up and feels overjoyed to see Gabby again. Baron hurriedly locks the windows and doors as the creatures approach. Night falls. Gabby wakes in fear and realizes that small mushrooms and fungus have now started growing on her body as well. She confronts Baron, claiming he must have some medicine since he and his son remain uninfected. Baron gives no reply and leaves the place. Gabby then asks Stephen where his father has gone. Stephen answers that he is out praying. As they talk, Gabby asks about his mother. Stephen calmly says his mother is in the jungle. Gabby finds the response unsettling and confusing. Stephen then promises to show her. They continue talking, and Gabby persuades him to join her outside in the real world, promising to make him a ranger and give him a better life than the one in the forest. But Stephen refuses, saying his father believes everyone will die soon, and that day is coming very quickly. The scene shifts to Baron praying before the sacred tree. Suddenly, a red light emerges from behind the tree, and he rushes home, terrified. The next morning, he takes Stephen back to the tree, performs his daily ritual, drips his blood into the trunk, eats a mushroom, and feeds one to Stephen. Meanwhile, Gabby wakes up and sees the infection spreading rapidly, mushrooms covering much of her body. Baron and Stephen head home, and Baron notices his son running unusually fast. Stephen immediately kisses Gabby, passing the mushroom his father gave him into her mouth. Gabby realizes this mushroom acts as medicine to stop the infection. She swallows it, and Baron arrives just in time to see everything. Though he understands what happened, he says nothing, only telling Gabby it is time for her to leave. Gabby notices the mushroom working, the infection subsiding. She insists on staying, knowing there is no cure for this disease in the city. Stephen rejoices, and he begins teaching Gabby how to survive in the forest, hunting, using a bow, and living off the land. Days pass, and they spend good time together. Stephen eventually takes Gabby to the sacred tree his family worships. Gabby is shocked to see it is the same tree from her dreams. Back home, she tells the men she wants to become part of their religion. At first, Baron grows angry, but then he agrees. That night, they prepare for a ritual. They smear animal blood on Gabby's face. Then Baron blows a strange powder across her mouth, and Gabby suddenly feels transported to another world. She finds herself lying naked beside a lake. From the water, Stephen emerges, also unclothed. They spend time together until Gabby suddenly finds herself in another vision, standing before the same massive tree from her dreams. There, she witnesses horrifying visions. Stephen is shot with an arrow through the mouth, and her own life falls into danger. Terrified, Gabby screams and wakes to find both father and son beside her, asking what she saw in the dream. Before Gabby can explain anything, she suddenly regains consciousness and realizes that the previous scene was also just part of her dream. When she wakes in the real world, the others ask her again the same questions: what happened and where she had been. Gabby explains that she was in the world of dreams and felt as if she had spent months there. But Baron tells her that she has only been unconscious for 4 hours. Gabby says she saw the tree speaking in her dream and claims that the tree is a monster. When Baron asks what the tree wants, Gabby reveals that it demands the life of his son, Stephen. It wants his sacrifice. Hearing this, Baron grows terrified and immediately goes to the tree to pray and beg for forgiveness. Time passes. Gabby and Stephen grow closer, spending their days playing and laughing together. Meanwhile, Baron remains troubled, struggling with a great decision he must make. The next morning, before sunrise, Baron leaves to pray before the tree. At the same time, Gabby and Stephen prepare to escape from the hut, following a plan they had made earlier. Just as they are about to leave, Baron appears before them. He confronts his son, asking what was lacking in their life, why he wants to leave after everything. He reminds Stephen that he raised him alone, protecting him and being both mother and father. He warns that in the outside world, Stephen will become just another part of a race where nothing comes without purpose or benefit, and he will grow used to such emptiness. According to Baron, that world is not meant for him. Despite these words, Stephen still wishes to go with Gabby, but Baron then uses emotional blackmail, saying that first his wife left him, and now even his son wants to leave. Hearing this, Stephen becomes emotional and finally chooses to stay with his father. During the argument, Gabby accuses Baron of killing his wife. Baron denies it, saying his wife ended her own life so that her son could survive. Father and son then return home, while Gabby walks away on her own. After traveling some distance, Gabby senses something strange and runs back toward the cabin. Meanwhile, Baron takes Stephen toward the sacred tree. Stephen asks where they are going, and Baron tells him they are going for a sacrifice. When Gabby reaches the cabin, she finds it empty. She picks up the bow and arrows Stephen had made for her and follows them. On the way, Stephen asks his father what they will sacrifice, since they have nothing. Baron assures him that God will provide something for the sacrifice. Gabby, having realized the truth, continues to follow them. On her way, Gabby encounters a humanoid fungus creature that notices her movement. She hides behind a tree to avoid it. At the tree, Baron finally tells his son that God has chosen him for the sacrifice. Saying this, he strikes Stephen on the back. Stephen falls, trying to defend himself. Gabby kills the fungus creature with an arrow and hurries towards Stephen. Stephen attempts to escape, but Baron forcefully restrains him, and the tree's roots begin binding his hands. Gabby reaches just in time, but the branches of the tree trap her as well. She struggles free and quickly shoots an arrow at Baron. Though injured, Baron is not fatally harmed and immediately attacks Gabby, knocking her unconscious. Before he can finish her, Stephen attacks his own father from behind to save her. A humanoid fungus appears and moves to attack Gabby, but Stephen once again comes to her rescue, fighting off the creature. While Stephen battles, Baron drags Gabby away by her hair, laying her before the tree and raising an axe to kill her. A flashback shows that moments earlier, Stephen had bravely defeated the creatures and rushed to Gabby. Finding his father about to kill her, he attacked Baron with his bow and arrow, weakening him. Even then, Baron tries to manipulate his son, claiming he was only testing him. But Gabby notices more creatures approaching and urges Stephen to escape quickly. Together, they leave Baron behind to die. Back in the cabin, Gabby takes a bath. Suddenly, she experiences another vision. The creatures and organisms reconnect with her body. Frightened, she awakens and begins reading Baron's book, which contains writings about the mushrooms. Meanwhile, Baron is shown fully infected, with massive mushrooms spreading across his body. He begs the tree for mercy, promising to obey its will, but the tree does not respond. It is revealed that the tree is, in fact, his wife, who had transformed into this monstrous being 13 years earlier. Now, she refuses to give him the mushrooms that control infection. Helpless, Baron succumbs to the disease and fully transforms into a humanoid creature. The scene shifts to Gabby inside the cabin. Her body is now overtaken by fungus, the infection spreading rapidly. As she slowly dies, She tells Stephen to leave for the outside world, but Stephen refuses to abandon her. Days pass, and the infection worsens until Gabby can no longer survive. In unbearable pain, she begs Stephen to end her life. Heartbroken, Stephen stabs her with his knife, ending her suffering. Left alone in the jungle, he realizes he cannot stay there forever. He decides to go to the outside world. In the post-credit scene, Stephen sits in a hotel, eating a meal. When he leaves the table, the leftover food quickly becomes covered in fungus, revealing that he too is infected. The movie ends here.